What is going on YouTube? I am Lamont at large, and today we are at the Delaware Veterans Memorial Cemetery here in Bear, Delaware. And I'm here to show you the location of a double murder that took place on May 8th of 2020. You may or may not have heard about this double murder being so odd that it happened in a cemetery, but of course a lot of news back last year was overshadowed by the pandemic. So on May 8th, 2015, 86-year-old Paul Marino and his 85-year-old wife Lydia came here to visit their son, who is interred ahead of you in this mausoleum. Their son died of cerebral palsy about 4 years ago, and according to an online interview from the couple's surviving sons, both said the parents were very, very active, and they came every day to visit their son. He would guess that they came 1,000 times. Basically, since their son died, they would come every morning. The only time they would not come is if it went under inclement weather. So on that day, they arrived here at around 10:15 or so. And right ahead of you, where those three pillars, those planters are, is about where they parked their vehicle. And unbeknownst to them, 29-year-old Sheldon Francis, a former Amazon warehouse employee, came up from behind them with a pistol and started firing at the back of their SUV. Lydia died at the scene, and Paul was taken to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries the following day. After they were shot, Sheldon, somewhere in the back of these woods right here, went to go hide, and the Delaware State Patrol, along with the local police department here, went on a search for the shooter. And after combing this back of the forest right here, they eventually started getting fired upon by Francis, and they were involved in a firefight that lasted about 4 hours. They eventually had to call in SWAT team, which came in with a Bearcat, which is a kind of a armored vehicle, and you had the police just kind of firing back into the woods. They couldn't really clearly see him. They knew he was out here somewhere, and they would just fire. They didn't have any real clear sight of him, but they knew that the gunshots were coming from so-and-so direction. Eventually, the shots stopped, and a group of SWAT team members, heavily armed, body armor, all that, went towards the direction of where the shots were coming from, and they found some kind of a makeshift like tent set up. I don't know if the guy was camping there or what have you, and they found Sheldon Francis dead. He had been shot in the head. They weren't sure whether it was self-inflicted or he was shot, but after the autopsy, it was determined that the shot to the head came from one of the officer's guns. Rightfully so. Of course, the shooting was justified. And the police did interview Sheldon Francis' family, and they said ever since the pandemic happened that he's been suffering from mental illness, how everything was getting shut down, and he was getting very paranoid about how everything shut down and worried about all kinds of just, started rambling about the New World Order. And his bosses at Amazon did notice that there was a severe change in his mental state, that he became a lot less talkative and almost like standoffish with his fellow employees. His family said that they didn't even know he owned weapons. He was always a quiet person and was not any kind of a troublemaker. The family was very cooperative with the police investigation. A rather sad state of affairs here where you involve somebody with severe mental illness, with a couple just only wanting to come to visit their sons. Lydia was a homemaker all her life, and Paul was retired from the U.S. Army, where he later got into the printing business and retired from that. And here is the final resting place of Paul and Lydia Marino. They were interred right next to their son. This was their son. I don't know if it were planned to where they were going to put, be put interred with next to their son. I'm sure it was, but I'm pretty sure their family members did not ever see them being brutally murdered here. I'm pretty sure they seen them passing from natural causes, being that they were still in pretty, relatively good health. Very, very sad. Rest in peace to Paul, Lydia, and Anthony Marino. Okay, guys, Lamont at Large. Catch up with you on the next vlog. Be good.